recording, I get very droll. So it's not going to be very good at all.
Well, that's how we're starting. What's up? Welcome back to the Cavalry.
To the Cavalry, everyone. We have a special guest. As we don't really pitter patter. When we have guests, we get right into it.
I like that.
Ryan
Just
Niemiller.
boom, right into it.
Yeah.
We also have a history of not like extolling any of the guests' credits or why they're who they are. We just get into this. So I feel like we shortchange our guests sometimes.
I mean, I feel after the whole pandemic, none of our credits matter anymore anyway. We're all starting over, essentially.
Let's hope. Yeah.
Like, it feels like I did America's Got Talent about 30 years ago. It was 2019, everybody. It was 2019.
Man.
And that credit is almost useless now, thanks to the
No,
pandemic.
that can't be true. It's still helping you get in the door, right?
I mean, yeah, there's worse useless credits than AGT, I guess, but
Yeah, I have some of them. What are they bringing America's Got Talent back? Is that a show that's going to keep going post pandemic? Do you know?
yeah, it's
it
debuts here in 2 weeks. I have to record some stuff for their social media soon to help out, so that'll keep me relevant.
There you go. You got to milk it as long as you can.
Well, and the Cavalry bump. You're gonna get the Cavalry bump too.
This is the bump I've been waiting for right here. This is the bump I've been waiting for, that call, Beaner.
It's gonna be confusing because you're gonna like rise to this level and you're gonna be like, wait a minute, is this Cavalry or is this AGT? I don't know what got me to.
Where are
this
these
level.
fans coming from? I don't know. Did they see me on the National Broadcasting Corporation or on the Cavalry podcast? Who's to say?
It's there's no way to know. Quite frankly, it's impossible to know.
As long as you don't ask them.
Right. That's the only way.
But no. Thank you for joining our little program here.
Actually, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Of course.
You don't have anyone in your family that's a primary care doctor, do you?
No, my brother is a doctor of evolutionary biology, if that helps.
Oh.
I don't even know what that means.
He can tell you why you're messed up. He can't tell you how to fix it. But evolutionary, he can tell you why we've developed those diseases.
So he's a doctor in the PhD sense, not like
Correct,
a doctor.
Yeah. So he has a specialty in herpetology. So he studies like snakes. So so if you have like a sick salamander, he's got your back.
Herpetology sounds like it also could be a study of sexually transmitted diseases.
It kind of in snakes exclusively though. It's a very specific field.
Very niche. Very niche.
And it's the real pandemic, quite frankly. Like, I'm not worried about COVID. We got to worry about these boas that are getting herpes and syphilis. That's
these slutty snakes out there not using protection. Shedded skin to shedded skin contact.
Just pure scale to scale action.
How would a snake use a condom? Would it just like stick his head in the condom?
Yeah, just the whole body would just slowly go into it, and then
and they just roll around on each other.
That could be a good industry is condoms for animals. Like, we're like, if I don't know how prevalent sexually transmitted diseases is in the animal kingdom, but they get around. Some of those animals, they like sleep with anybody they just met.
Yeah, I would be interested because STDs feel like a prominently human problem. Like, that doesn't feel like, you don't hear a lot about like, oh yeah, my cat has syphilis. Like, you don't hear that a lot.
But maybe they do. Maybe we're just not, maybe the vets just don't like to tell you, they're like, yeah, your dog has gonorrhea. They're like, you don't want to hear that. So they just say something else. And
yeah, it would break my heart if I found out my dog was a slut. Yeah, it would just it would just crush my heart.
Yeah, condoms for animals. This is a good market we could get into. I think you could make some money with this.
And then my face is on it.
Yeah,
right there, just ready to go.
Gotta brand. No one's branded condoms that way yet. Putting their face on them
with a face,
just
with a bearded middle-aged man's face.
Just that. Yeah, just a former reality star's bearded, graying face.
Hey, you're not former yet. You said you're doing some recording. So
that is true, yeah.
You're still afloat.
Yeah, I'm gonna be big in the Instagram stories. That's where the money is, everybody. I don't know if your listeners are in the know on how this business works, but Instagram stories, that's where the big bucks are.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Money rolls in.
Our listeners know. We post some of our clips on Instagram stories. It's interesting. Instagram stories does have less pressure to me because it's like you can throw stuff up there and then you don't really have to look at how well it does. It doesn't tell you like unless people like message you about it or whatever. You
And
can just
it's
kind of
gone.
set it and forget it.
Yeah, 24 hours, it's gone. So even if it was awful, there's no proof of it in 24 hours. So you can forget your failures.
And
yes, I like
if
that.
you're within that 24 hours, can't you see specifically who has watched it?
Yeah, it'll tell you. You can look at the full list. My favorite thing to do in my own anxiety brain is to post, like if you post like 4 in a row that might be like the same story that you're telling, and then you get less and less viewers as you go, and then you start trying to figure out like, okay, who's the asshole that didn't stick to the end? The end's the good part. You can't judge it by the first 10 seconds. It gets good at the end.
You're
That's
writing
so
down
funny.
who watched each section and cross-referencing. Okay, so this is where he bailed.
Yeah, I'm DMing old AGT fans being like, hey, what the hell? You don't like my story?
That's hilarious. Yeah.
That is funny. I've never thought about that, but that's true. And then it causes you to do some like introspection. It's like, where was it? What part of the story were they like, I'm out? Like, okay, I don't need to hear that. How this goes.
Yeah. So you seem like you know about Instagram stories. So like if me or Andrew post a promo clip and it divides it into 4. Like let's say he posts one and it takes up 4 things, and then I click add to my story. Is it just adding like the first 1/4 of the promo?
I think so. I think you have to like add each one individually.
I've noticed that's happened.
And you got to tag the person in all 4. That's the mistake I've made before too. So you can only share the ones you tag the person with. So yeah, I've done that and just blindly reposted, and then it doesn't make any sense to anybody.
I'm gonna start tagging you in just like the middle one. So there's no beginning, there's no end.
But it's just like starts with animal condoms. I'll put my face on, and then that's all they hear.
And that's it. And then you just let that money roll in.
I know. That's kind of intriguing. I think I'd tune in.
It's a good teaser. So Ryan, you're a gamer, right? Don't you?
I am. Yeah, that is my thing.
Collect old video games.
Yeah, so it's very barren now because we're just getting this set up, but that is going to be all video game stuff there. I have a bunch of shelves there. I have another room. This is the modern room. And then I have a retro room that's across the hall. I have a big CRT, so I can actually play old, NES and Super Nintendo and such the way it's supposed to be. That TV has been a bitch to haul across the country. Oh my God. So those are not light, it turns out. There's a reason they didn't last. They're very heavy.
Oh, no, I remember those things. And then have you ever seen that? I remember when I was a kid, there would be at our church, there was a big screen TV. That was like a big deal. And it had the 3 lights that would shine up. Yeah, at the bottom, and then it would the green, the red, and then the white or something, and it would shine up. And I thought that was like the most fascinating piece of technology I'd ever seen in my life. And then now, and that probably weighed like 15,000 pounds. I can't imagine how heavy.
Minimum.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And now we have these things that have like all information that's ever existed. Like
in 1080, 4K.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
I was talking to my wife about that because she's been rewatching Mad About You, right? And they talk about, there's a scene where they mention, because that show was 20 years ago or whatever, and there's a scene where they mention the future, and they talk about 2020 or something, and they go, oh, by then we'll have flying cars. That was the go-to. Everybody thought we'd have flying cars, and she's like, oh, they'd be disappointed to know we don't have flying cars. But I was like, yeah, but we also got some stuff I think they would have never thought. The flying cars seems more feasible than some of the stuff that we actually have.
Such as?
The phone. The fact that you could just tell your phone, like, hey, give me directions to St. Louis. And then the thing just will talk to you. Like you didn't type anything into it.
Yeah,
There's no wires that go into your ears. And then it'll tell you exactly how to get to St. Louis. That's pretty incredible. I mean, I think that's crazier to me.
You can literally like function your entire life basically off this thing. You can do your business off of this. You can do your taxes off of this. Entertainment.
Yeah.
Are you an Android or is that an iPhone?
I'm an Android guy personally. I feel like
Andrew, I know you want to turn off the recording.
Yeah. I know, especially for stuff like editing videos and stuff. Everyone's always told me that like Apple's much better for that. But I'm definitely an old ass man. My first phone happened to be an Android, and now I just do. I don't want to. I'm too old to relearn things. Like I don't want to. This works fine.
Well, I feel like that's why I have Apple stuff. Is just because like what I can't. I'm 36. I can't just re-engineer my life now. I can't start over.
No one has ever learned a new thing after the age of 35. Like that is fact. It is impossible. Our brains aren't built. People used to die before 35. Like 35. No one made it to 35s. How are we supposed to learn things?
I think it'd be easier to move than to change phone brands at this point. I think it would be less stressful for me.
Plus, I'm so pot committed. Everything I have is Apple brand. You know, it's all iTunes, whatever. So I don't know how I would.
Yeah, because then you got to change out all. Yeah. Nope. Apple till the death of me.
So anyway, but I asked about you being a gamer because I remember I think this was months ago, but you posted something about. I just did Kristen Key's podcast.
Okay.
Kristen knows blank, and we talked all about Zelda. But you posted about Adventures of Link. Am I correct?
I believe so. Yes, and how that is.
How it's impossible.
One of the hardest games ever. I know it's not technically one of the hardest games, but it's so hard. The game is so hard.
I know. I recently beat it for the first time a few months ago, and the only way I was able to do it is because I used the Nintendo Switch, where you can if you die, you can just rewind 20 seconds.
Yeah, and it also has the save states, so you can just save anytime you want.
Anytime. Yeah.
Back in the day, you just had to like leave your TV on and hope that your mom didn't turn it off at any given point while you were at school.
That. I did that with Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, the Nintendo 64 Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, and we went on vacation, and I had a season. I didn't want to, so we just paused it, and then just hoped that when we came back,
And then you got home, and the logo was just burned in your.
Yeah.
I was like the house burned down.
Yeah.
It was a Nintendo 64 fire.
The house burned down, but we actually were able to resume play, so it was worth it.
That's good.
It's good.
Nice.
Yeah. That game is so hard, and like it's a weird thing. Cause I've been a gamer my whole life. There's certain games that I remember being very hard as a child, but then as you just get older and your reflexes get better, you're like, oh, this is easy now. Yeah. And then there's some games where you're like, this was marketed to kids. Who as a child
who's
figured
this asshole?
Yeah. I would have punched that kid directly in the crotch. There's like not a chance I wouldn't have beat up that kid.
Yeah.
I think they made games intentionally hard, especially for kids, because they want you to break controllers, and I was a big
consoles.
they sell more controllers when you just toss them across the room out of frustration every once in a while.
Yeah, it was also just like it was still like awful game design at the time, because like it wasn't too far removed from the arcades, and arcade games are deliberately hard because they want you to throw quarters into the machines. Like that's the point, is to keep going. And so people just went, oh, that's how you make games, and then put that on your NES, and you're like, no, that's like, I don't need that in my life right now. Like if I'm gonna deal with that, I at least want to know that there's like pizza and Mountain Dew at this bowling alley that I'm playing these
video
games at.
It's like, I have children. I don't have time for this bullshit. Just make it easy.
Yeah, I'm a huge proponent of that. Like that's I posted something about this on Twitter actually yesterday about people should be able, like, especially if you're an adult who's busy and has things to do, play games on easy. Use guides, man. Like I don't have time to solve really obtuse puzzles at this point in my life. Like I got to get to the airport tomorrow morning. I can't be. doing
I'm
this
gonna
stuff.
miss my flight. Someone give me the cheat code.
Yeah,
It
if
is
the
a
game-
fine
if they give
line.
you options like math, like hard, difficult, easy. If the ending is the same, who is playing hard? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
It's not more fun for me. Like the Arkham games, I've never played any of them on hard because why?
It's
I wanna
just
beat
a
it.
matter of your timing, like that's what makes it harder. It's like how quick you press the button or whatever. It's not
because,
like
because
figuring stuff out.
it's also one of those things that like the only thing you get out of it, you get like this satisfaction, like, yeah, I beat it on hard. And then you just look around and you're like, oh, nobody cares. Like nobody.
Yeah.
Like there's something to be said about personal achievement. Like you've set a goal and you got through it. But like,
Right.
that's the thing. You're like, I don't want people on the internet who don't even know I'm playing this game to think I suck.
That is so funny. Oh, I beat it on hard. Extra pussy for me tonight.
Exactly. Oh God, I can just hear the moistness of the greater Southern
Yeah.
California area now.
Not like when I beat it on medium and it's all dry out there. Nope.
Yeah, I beat the game on hard, and my girlfriend was like, "You have a hall pass now. You've earned it.
Yeah.
You may go bang all of the willing ladies now." Who are
really
so excited.
You really earned for this family, so go ahead and.
That was
I also-
worth you not taking out the trash. That was worth it. I didn't realize you were playing on hard. I wouldn't have yelled at you had I known.
Oh, yeah.
You were-
It's like, can you spend some time with our kids? Oh, you're on hard? Oh,
It's a hard.
I'm sorry.
No. Yeah,
Timmy,
kids,
get out of
kids.
here. Daddy's busy.
Yeah,
Daddy's
get,
playing on hard, okay?
Yeah, get in the yard. Just get in the yard.
I also noticed you have the gamer chair.
I do.
I've
yes.
never had a gamer chair. And they all have that same like shape to it. Talk about like what is it about the gamer chair that makes it good for video games?
It's supposed to, in theory, I don't know if I have the right one for this, but in theory, it's supposed to like keep your posture kind of up. Like there's like a little, like there's a pad here, and there's an optional pad that I am not using for like the lower back. It's to kind of keep you in like optimal gaming position, essentially. None of that stuff works, right? I just got it because it's a more comfortable chair generally than a normal office chair. But like, because for me, like I have such short arms, I gotta bend over in weird directions and shit anyway. So like, it doesn't like my posture. I can't reach things. If I can have two, I'm either gonna reach things or have scoliosis. Like those are the two. Like you can't.
But it would be funny if they, because all the things you just said are things that you'd want in any chair anywhere, right? Like good lumbar support or forces good posture. So it would be fun. It would take like a bold banker or CEO to just be like, you know what, the gamer chair is the best chair. When I have these meetings, I'm gonna sit in a gamer chair, and you guys just have to deal with it.
Well, I feel there's a lot of like hipstery like CEOs that would probably do that. Like Elon Musk probably has a gamer chair, right? Like I feel like he would do it just to be.
Yeah, he would do it for sure. Yeah.
People who know about like cryptocurrency have gamer chairs. Like you don't.
That is a Venn diagram with I think 100% circle touching, or however you would say that if you were smart.
Yeah. I bought this because the pandemic. My girlfriend's an elementary school teacher, so she had to start teaching from home. So we were kind of sharing the space, and so she bought a chair that aesthetically looked great in the room until the first day she sat there for 7 hours, and she's like, "Oh, my ass has never hurt more than this in my entire life. We're getting a better chair." So we got this chair instead.
Yeah.
Oh, so did she use that chair?
She did.
Virtual teaching. Oh wow.
Her fourth graders thought she was so cool.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
That's real clout.
Put on her headset. Okay.
Yeah, here we go. She was drinking like gamer fuel energy drinks the whole time.
Code red.
Yeah,
just talking.
If someone got like an A on their test, she would Fortnite dance, and she just get it.
Nice.
Oh man, I should get a better chair. This chair is awful. It's like this is just a dining room chair, and I've been using it, and I feel like it keeps our podcast though to the strict 45 minutes to an hour, because after that my ass really hurts.
Yeah, it looks like you're recording from like your grandma's den.
Yeah.
Like it kind of does. Like that was a chair that's just been there. Like, oh, your grandfather sat in this chair, and his grandfather before him sat in this chair.
Well, what's funny is I'll tell you where we got this chair. when we moved to Portland, we stayed at an Airbnb because we didn't know where we were going to live. So we just booked a couple different Airbnbs for like a month at a time. And the last one we were at before we got this house, when we were leaving, they're like, "Oh, you're moving into a house. We have these chairs. You can take these chairs." And I was like, "Great, one less thing to buy." And they look good for the dining room, you know. And then we get them in the house. My wife doesn't even like them, so actually got different chairs at Goodwill or whatever. But then like they charged us all this extra money for having a dog, even though we disclosed the dog ahead of time, and she's hypoallergenic. She doesn't shed. It was very clean. And they're like, "Oh no, it's just, we have this dog fee," but like anyway, they tried to screw us out of like an extra couple $100. And I was like, "Well, I'm not paying that." They're like, and then they did this. They're like, "Well, and we gave you those chairs." It's like, yeah, okay, but it wasn't a trick, It wasn't like, "Oh yeah, you're right. We gave us the chairs. Here's $200." Like, you were getting rid of the chairs. You were taking them to the dump, and we just got rid of them for you.
Yeah, we did you a favor. We were your dump. Like, that's what happened there.
Yeah, exactly. So I was enraged.
Yeah,
but I can't remember.
Pre-show banter. Should we get into it?
We should get into it. Yeah, we don't want to pre-show banter too long.
We gotta back you up. Do you have stuff you need backup on?
I do, because I always lose this argument, and it's kind of it's a generalized argument. So I hope you guys can kind of have my back on this.
Oh, perfect.
So one of my least favorite tropes of humans is that every single person, to a person, seems to think that every athlete, sports team, musician, album, TV show, movie, they were always at their peak when they happened to be children or like growing up. So like without question, you talk to anyone that's like, we're all around the same age. Everyone's just like, "Oh, music today sucks. Just like, oh, back in my day, that was the best time for music." Or like, "It's impossible that LeBron James Michael Jordan is clearly the best because I grew up when Michael Jordan was the best. And I don't have room in my brain to accept that there might be good athletes now too."
And that's what they say about SNL too. Everyone's favorite cast is when they were in
college,
when they started watching it, basically. And then like the part that always like seals the deal for me on it about being annoyed is that, just like anything, people, when you remember past generations of like music, for instance, of course you're going to remember the highlights because those transcend time. You don't remember the garbage. There's an equal amount of garbage in music in every single generation, but as time moves on, you don't remember that Snow's Informer was the #1 song for like 10 weeks one summer in 1990. You forget that, and then you only remember that Metallica existed. So
that's so true. And because they'll do that with lyrics a lot, right? Like they'll talk about, "Oh, the lyrics today are so stupid. It's like bootylicious, and I had to tap that at," and they're so mad about the lyrics. And then you're like, "Yeah, but the 60s, like it was like Banana Nana Ling Long or whatever, Yeah,
they're like there wasn't a song in the late 80s that literally just repeated "Groove is in the Heart" for like an hour.
Right. I mean, there's every music period had like bad lyrics.
Yeah, and I can never win these arguments because people don't want to accept. They'll always, and they always make the comparison. They'll take something that's like designed for basically teenage girls now. They'll take like a Justin Bieber or something like that. That's clearly not marketed for grown men our age. We're not the target audience for that. So they'll take something like that. It's like, "Oh yeah, this generation's got Justin Bieber. Well, I had Leonard Skinner." Like those are even remotely the same fucking thing. Like you don't compare that. Like they forget that they had stuff like Leif Garrett and the Monkees, which is the exact same thing. I never win these arguments.
Oh, I get back you up, and I have I got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and another one, and I see them getting into the things, so I'm like watching as it's happening to me, where I'm like, okay, so I am the old guy, and my stuff is gonna be looked at, and then the stuff that kids nowadays are getting into, I'm seeing as like, oh, it's not, it's not the same as I was growing up, but I'm like, it's not true. Like from the inside, I'm looking at it like, okay, it's not good to me, but to them, it's like as good as what I grew up with was to me. And I'm just reaching the age where I'm like, oh, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I have friends that are trying to keep up with what the kids these days so that they're hip. And I'm like, why? I don't need to impress them, that generation.
Do you try to push? Do you try to push your stuff onto your kids? Do you try to get them to like?
I don't push it. It's just all they have available because I'm the boss. You know what I mean? I'm not pushing it. If they hear the other shit somewhere and they get into it, all right, fine, I'll buy it for them.
Yeah, as soon as they start contributing money to this household, then maybe they can listen to their radio station.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like push it, but I mean, my daughter does have she does have a framed Counting Crows poster in her room.
And your son does have that Counting Crows tattoo, which you got.
Well, he'll thank me for that.
Yeah, at 5, that's what we do. And
well, we do have that bet, Beaner, where we tried to say like, how long can we convince your kids that the only band that exists is Counting Crows?
My daughter heard some scuttlebutt that there's another band out there, but I was like, no, that's a rumor.
And that's why she's homeschooled now. That's right. We can't risk it.
Yeah, we had to pull her.
There was this movie on Netflix. It was like an old rom-com, like a 2000s era, like with Aaron Eckhart and Jennifer Aniston. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like he plays this motivational speaker, and she is like a florist or whatever. And it's so bad. It's and my wife loves rom-coms, and she's like, oh, we should see it, because it was like going around. You know how weirdly sometimes a movie at Netflix gets into the algorithm, and all of a sudden it's like trends on Twitter, everyone's like talking about it. So it was like that. It got recommended to us by 2 different people, so we're like, okay, let's try it. It was so bad, it was horrible. And we had our daughter who's 5 months, and she like was sitting there while we watched it, and so I was like, I was joking, it's the only movie she's ever seen. So I'm like, I was doing this character of Ginger where it's like, this is like, to her, it's the best movie that's ever made. She's like, I want to watch, I forget, Burke Ryan again, So we kept doing this character where it's like, what if she was just obsessed with this movie for the rest of her life?
And the thing is, like, I don't have kids myself, but you could make that happen. You could convince this kid, like, just as a social experiment, that this weird rom-com with Aaron Eckhart and Jennifer Aniston is the greatest movie ever, and convince her that everyone likes it. So when she gets to like college, she talks about like, oh yeah, when you were kids and you used to watch this movie, right? And they'll be like, wait, what?
You know what's funny? You mentioned that, like, the social experiment. Do you know? So Andrew, can I tell him? Are you telling people? Andrew has a daughter. He has a baby.
Cat's out of the bag, I guess.
All right. So he's got a new baby, and but I do find myself just in my mind kind of imagining doing these psychotic social experiments with my kids where I'm like, what if I told them, what if I just switched 2 words for no reason? Just to see. And then
like blue and orange, just be like the whole, label every toy, everything they've ever had.
So that fucking does happen.
Yeah, you're accidentally ruining him that way.
Yeah. My daughter is always like, Dad, what color is this? I'm like, please don't.
It's gray. It's gray.
That's hurtful to Daddy when you ask him that.
Are you trying to make a fool out of me? Is that
how dare you?
You think you're better than me? I fucking made you. You're part failure yourself. You're half failure, okay? No, but actually, this is true. I thought, until I was, I think, 5th grade, I thought ass meant a penis. Until 5th grade. Because think about it. Anytime you say asshole or use ass, you're just calling someone an ass, or you're acting like an ass, or calling him an asshole. You're not. It's very rarely are you specifying, shit comes out of an
actual, actual anus.
Yeah. So I just thought it was a dick until, I don't know what happened. There was some context where I was like, oh, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I was always aware of ass and asshole because ass was like a word that was in the Bible. So I would always love to say ass, and then they would get mad at you. And then he's like, it's in the Bible. I can say ass. It's in the Bible, you know.
Yeah, I think
But
we all have.
that doesn't tell you that it's a butt.
Yeah,
I know, but then I did if you're using the word a lot, you kind of pick up the context clues.
yeah.
But it's funny that
I was gonna say I think we all have those blind spots. Mine was much later and goofy. So I was well into my late 20s before I figured this out. So Pilates.
yeah.
I thought that Pilates was the word to describe what Kegels were. I legitimately, and the reason why is because so my degree, I went to Indiana State University. I have a degree in theater, and if you've ever hung out with a lot of theater people a lot, like the women in theater groups are very open about their sexuality and their bodies, and like it's not a bad thing, but like they would talk about doing Pilates together and stuff, and for whatever reason my brain synapses missed. And I thought they were having Kegels parties to tighten up those badges, apparently.
That's funny, too, because there's like Pilates studios.
Yeah,
like imagine having a whole workout studio designed for that one exercise.
I was like, where can I find these tapes? Can I get these? I need to find a VCR to watch some of these old retro Pilates tapes.
But then you weren't aware of the word Kegel. That wasn't a word that you used.
like when I found out what that was, I was like, oh, well, of course there's no. Why would they have a second word to describe? Like, no, like, so stupid. And I'm a generally smart guy. I graduated with honors. Like, I'm a smart man.
Oh yeah, I wasn't calling into question.
No. Notice I did not add that qualifier after my.
Johnny.
Well, in all fairness, if you graduate with honors in theater, you're just the best at pretending.
Wait, I forgot to ask this. Yeah, I forgot to ask this, Johnny. But how did you find out that you were using ass wrong in 5th grade? Was there a story?
Yeah,
it was like a kid
I don't remember the specific context, but I was in the bathroom, the boys' bathroom. And we were doing that thing where you like back up to pee. You see how far you can pee and hit the urinal and still get it in. And either I used it wrong.
Yeah, that old thing. I'm auditioning for America's Got Talent with that next year, in case you're wondering.
That sounds like a winning act to me.
I'm going to get second this time.
Yeah, that's hilarious that you use it wrong. And then everyone's like, what did you just... Girls. I heard girls love it when a guy has a big ass.
Yeah, I got the biggest ass in here.
A big long ass.
A big long. Oh man, I was pissing out of my ass.
Yeah, I got.
I got the longest ass in this room.
My ass is throbbing right now. She's so hot. So stupid.
So where? So to back.
But I'm backing. Yeah. 100%. You're absolutely right. And in sports, you're so right in sports too, because like people have these sacred cows, and they act like with Jordan, especially, they're like, LeBron can't be as good as Jordan and all that. And they even created this whole, it felt like that whole documentary or miniseries that they pushed out was just to put out and remind people Jordan is better than LeBron. It felt like that was the thrust of it the whole time. But then you're like, that probably happened when Jordan was in the league. People are like, well, there's no way he's better than, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, or there's no way he's better than Bill Russell was, So I feel like it is silly.
Yeah, you get so attacked. And for me, the biggest part of it is like, I think people should like what they like. Like, if you don't like the music or the athletes of today, that's totally cool. Like, you don't have to enjoy Justin Bieber or LeBron or whatever it is, but just like this unwielding, like just so certain, just so ass strong that they know that they know for a fact that like, no one will ever be as good as Jordan, ever. And you're just like, well, you don't know that. These records will never be broken, or they might, because he did it. So someone else might do it 1 point better or whatever.
Yeah.
No,
I'm backing you up for sure.
Yeah, because as a gamer, you get that in like video games a lot. Like, oh, these new games suck. No, you just suck at them. Like, that's the difference. Like they like it's not like mutually exclusive. Like old games can still be good too.
Right, right,
Yeah.
And
right.
then you can still enjoy this. Like it's not, it shouldn't threaten you that like Breath of the Wild might be better than Legend of Zelda, the original one. Like they're a different thing. Like you can still like both of them. It's okay, and it's just like I don't know what age that we hit as humans where we just suddenly just become like, get off my lawn. Like there seems to be a very distinct switch, and even if it's subtle in a lot of cases, some people just are like, I don't like anything past the year 2000. And for some people, it's really subtle. It's like, oh, these kids on TikTok. And we didn't have TikTok when I was a kid. Yeah, of course not. Like we barely had computers. It was 1971. Like the only thing you had was a can to kick down the road. Like, why are you mad that kids have cool shit to enjoy? You would have liked this shit if it existed when you were a kid too. Shut up.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, it's not for you. I feel like people love criticizing stuff that's not for them. It's like, oh, this isn't funny. It's like, yeah, it's not they didn't make it with you in mind. You were the last person they were thinking of when they made this thing.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to let other people have stuff, no matter what it is. And like, there's a lot of like day holidays that happens. Like we just passed Star Wars Day.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people post like the, May the 4th be with you, kind of memes. And some people get really mad about that. Like, I don't care about Star Wars. Like, that's not a thing that I personally care about. But like, how sad is your day where you then spend that entire day trying to own nerds? Like, just let it. Sometimes there's things that are just popular. Just let them have it. You get that on the Super Bowl the other way when the nerds are like, oh, there's a sports ball game today. Shut up. God. Today you lose. You don't have to like football, but 150 million people are watching this. Sit down and shut up and go watch Doctor Who in the other room. Like, this is not your day. Like, you don't gotta like it, but you're outnumbered today.
Acknowledge that people do like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. The only thing sadder than like celebrating Star Wars Day is spending time in your life criticizing people, who are celebrating Star Wars Day. Like being aware of it, and then like that's how online some people are. It's like they're so online, they're aware of the Star Wars Day, and they're aware that they don't like Star Wars, and they're still gonna spend the time to criticize and find the people who are having fun with it. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a waste of your time. Like, just don't like things. I mean, I'm that way with just haters in general. Like, AGT was the first time that I ever had haters, and I don't think that everyone needs to think I'm funny or talented. Like, I'm not nobody's for everybody. The most successful artists in the world, probably more than half the people on the planet don't like what they do. But like, it's always weird that like someone would take that. I looked at the comments on the YouTube once. So when my first audition was put up on YouTube, I read the comments once, and just in my head, I'm just like, man, just don't vote for me then. Vote for the opera singer if you think she's better than me. Like, I don't know.
That's so stupid too, because it's like they're like comparing you to, comedy contests in general can be arbitrary. But then when you're putting like a comedian versus a juggler versus a singer versus like a knife thrower, it's like, his jokes were pretty good, but they weren't as good as the knife throwing. Yeah. So I'm going to go with it. It's like, what are we even talking about? Just enjoy it. Vote for the person you liked and shut up.
Yeah. His joke didn't joke as hard as that guy's discovered that was Simon's card. Like, it's just like, it's such a weird, like, I enjoyed AGT, and most of the fans have been really great. Like, it was an overall incredibly positive experience. But just like anything, man, it kind of, we can tie it into the people who just love their 70s music or whatever. The people who are really into something like AGT are really into it, to the point where they will go out of their way to like DM you or tweet at you to be like, hey, you were better last time. Cool. Man. I got third place on the show. I don't give a shit. Like, I headline clubs. Like, I finally like I get the headline fucking heliums and improvs and shit now. Like, I'm okay that you thought that the dance troupe was better than me. Like, it's gonna be like, that's fine.
And people don't understand too, like when they're a fan of the show, so they think for you, like your big shot is to win this show, and if you don't win, then it's like a tragedy. You're like, no, I didn't get into comedy to win America's Got Talent. I'm just trying to get enough juice so that I can, go headline some clubs and people will come see me,
Yeah,
Like,
AGT is one of the last credits that like immediately makes you. Like there's other credits that are dope. Like I want to do Tonight Show just as a personal goal. Like that's something that would be important to me as a comedian. But getting to do the Tonight Show doesn't move the needle like it used to. It's a cool thing that you can be like, hey, Beaner, I was on the Tonight Show. And you go, okay, cool, high five. And that's kind of it, Like that's sort of.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It would be cool to tell an open micers, hey, don't talk to me. I've been on the Tonight Show,
Exactly. Yeah, you can my mom will think it's awesome. Like that's like my mom loves the fact that like Howie Mandel follows me on Instagram. Like that's for her, that's like, oh hell yeah, you've made it. In the grand scheme of things, it's cool, but it doesn't that doesn't matter, like you want to sell tickets and make money and get to do the I don't want to have to sleep in my car on road trips anymore. Like that's kind of what AGT was for me. Like I don't have to do those $100 no hotel gigs from the email lists anymore.
Oh my God. And the other thing with YouTube comments, because in the few things that I've ever done that have actually generated enough interest to people to comment, it doesn't they can criticize the comedian part of me. I've been doing this long enough where you can't really hurt me with like, oh, you weren't funny or you don't have good timing or whatever. Like that joke sucks. Because I have enough self-esteem and all of that it's like you're just an idiot on the internet. You don't know what you're talking about. It's when they criticize like your appearance or your shirt or your haircut that devastates me. That's why I have to stay off comment sections, because that'll send me spiraling. I'll go, oh my God, they're right.
Yeah, that was a stupid shirt. Is this the appropriate time for me to tell you that that shirt was a poor choice with me coming on the show? I'm just saying, I don't know if you know this, I was on America's Got Talent, so I'm kind of a big deal now.
Yeah, you might want to dress up.
Yeah, I wanted you to dress
I
appropriately.
should have bought my tuxedo.
Yeah, I say Beaner's shirt isn't amazing, but he has
right it is.
Yeah, but he has the Zelda background, so that wins him over for me.
Okay.
I'm content with that.
I have my fake office background. See, this isn't even real. This is a green screen of what I used to have in office.
It's very fancy.
Well, thank you. Okay, well, yeah, I think we're backing you up here. I don't think there's any question.
For sure.
Why
one, Andrew?
Oh yeah, I do have something I could use some backup on, because things are like rapidly changing with the COVID on the COVID front with the rules and everything, And so now we're in a point where they say if you've been fully vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask. And then there's like, obviously some people a little nervous about losing the masks or whatever. But I think there's a group of people out there who are saying they don't want to get rid of the mask because they have bought too many new masks. And this might just be me. But I'm like, I want to use these masks, okay? I just spent some money on some new masks. And I think there's a lot of people out there like me are like, you can't just go no now. You should have told us before that once you're vaccinated, you're not going to need these masks anymore.
I spent extra money on some masks to like fit my personality and like things I enjoy. So like I have like some Chicago Cubs masks. I have some video game masks, things that I like. And now they're useless.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, we're a little pot committed on masks for a while. So I think it needs to be a slower phase out. I don't know about the medical. I mean, they obviously know more than me about the medical reasons, but I'm just talking about the investment that we've all made in masks.
So you guys waited till month 13 of the pandemic to order these custom bears?
Well, I kept thinking it was going to end before the first 6 months. I was like, I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on masks because the second that I do, they're going to say you don't need them anymore. So, and then I finally broke down, I don't know when it was, a month or two ago, and I got like this big thing on Amazon because I was like, I'm tired of buying them one at a time. So I got these like KN95 ones and like a huge package of them, and they weren't that cheap, you know. So I'm a little pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on wearing masks as long until it makes me noticeably weird. Like, I think for a while it's gonna be fine. Like, there's gonna be enough people still. Like, I don't know.
It's peer pressure. I mean, like, if you go into a Portland, Oregon Trader Joe's, you're wearing a mask. You know, I don't care if you've been vaccinated 9 times. Everyone else is doing it. You're gonna do it. You know, unless you want to be one of these people you want to create like a viral video or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if I go into a mall and I'm the only one wearing a mask, I'm probably going to take it off because I'm like, I feel a little silly.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact, and with what we do for a living, like under normal times, we shake so many just strangers' hands and we're so close to people all the time. I love the fact that I haven't even had a cold in over a year.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Yeah.
Oh, I love the fact, like, the next time I even get a cold, it's going to destroy me. So I'm going to keep wearing a mask just to avoid the, like that's something I know it won't, because Americans are too, yeehaw, freedoms. Like, they're not going to do it. But that's something that like a lot of Asian countries do right. Like for them, like it's like a polite thing. Like, oh, I'm sneezing, I'm going to wear a mask, because we're going to be packed on the subway or whatever. So I'm going to make sure I don't get everyone else sick. Like, I wish that would just be a thing. Like, people, if you're sick, wear a damn mask.
Yeah, or even stay home. Like, I feel like before COVID, there was this whole mentality in America, and it's probably why we had COVID extra bad here, where if you're sick, you fight through it. You know, you're like, oh, you're not. We don't do sick days around here. You know, in comedy, it's kind of like that. You can't just cancel a gig because you don't feel good. You know. And so I hope that this brings about a new era of like, no, me calling in sick is not like me being lazy. It's me doing everyone else a favor, like, and not to get you sick.
What do you guys do? Like, if you're in the middle of the grocery store, you got your mask on and you have to sneeze. Do you just sneeze like right into your mask?
I did that at Target. And I sneezed and I was holding something, and I was like, well, what am I going to cover my mask with my hand? That feels weird. So I just kind of like did one of those, like, try to keep everything closed
kind of thing, yeah.
and sneezed into the mask. And a lady like saw me, and I feel like was like, at first was like, I couldn't tell if she thought I was gross or was like, oh yeah, you can sneeze into your mask. That's kind of how
we learned something today.
Yeah.
It was like when Beaner found out what ass was. Right. He kind of just went, oh,
it's an aha moment.
You can sneeze. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the time where, like, every time I hear someone cough or sneeze, it's not the same thing as a gunshot to me. Like, every time I hear, even like, I'm getting on the road a little bit right now. If anyone in the crowd's like, oh, I'm like, get the fuck out! You gotta go! Get him out!
This show is over.
It's over. Yeah. Like, I just don't want to overreact to just like normal things or feel that like when I eat, my nose just runs. That's just like a weird quirk that my body has. Even if spicy or not, like I just kind of get like a little like,
oh really?
Yeah, I get logy. I think I get a little logy, and it just starts. So, but like now, like under normal circumstances, oh yeah, you just grab a napkin or a Kleenex or whatever. But now I'm just like, if someone sees me like blow my nose, they think I have the COVID.
You're gonna burn me at the stake.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I back you up. Sure.
Yeah, I'm backing you up too. I'm wearing my mask until they fall apart. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, or at least come up with other uses for them or something. I don't know, but I don't want to have to just eat this.
Can't you just? I mean, you can wear them at the airport forever. There's always people wearing them before COVID, even at the airport.
But I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna be the only person, because Johnny and I both, when we flew, we used the during the pandemic, we used the face shield, and I had I felt very self-conscious about that because there weren't that many. There maybe be like one.
We still did it.
I still did it, but I didn't love it because you do feel like an alien.
Who loves that though? Like who's excited?
No.
Like I tell you, I fly to Boston from San Diego tomorrow. I'm pumped for 6 hours of having a mask on my dumb face. I'm pumped. Love
The
it.
face shield is a whole nother level
Yeah.
of you feel insane where you're like, whatever I'm doing, if it requires me to wear this, it's not worth wherever I'm going.
Yeah, I feel like the face mask is like if you're flying and also maybe you need to do some like welding or soldering
Yeah.
on the plane. Like if the wing
It
starts to
is.
break off, you're the one they're gonna ask
Yeah.
to fix that.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not wearing, like I said, if I'm I'm fully vaxxed now, and so then I'll wait the 2 weeks, and then if I go out and I see there's no one else wearing a mask, I'm not gonna have I'm not gonna be the one guy who still wears it.
Well,
That's
for
where
a
I'm at.
while here too, like we're gonna at least have this like gap or this like overlap for a while where businesses are still gonna require it. So like the
Right,
mask.
yeah.
So even if you're gonna do that, because I don't know if you
That's
know
true.
this, but people who are anti-vax are not the most honest human beings on the planet. So I'm sure they're just gonna say, "Oh, I'm vaccinated," and do their thing. So like,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
still a reason to wear it for a while here. I think you got a few good months here.
Is the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
proof that you've been vaccinated the card that is that it? There's no record of it anywhere else.
I think
That
they
seems
keep a
insane to me.
record. I think they keep a record in case, like when you signed in or whatever, in case you lose your card. Because there's got to be a
Okay.
way that like they're not going to make you get re-vaccinated if you lose your little
That's
flimsy
what I was
cardboard
thinking.
card.
And it's like a piece of paper. My GameStop card is more, solid than this. So
my girlfriend laminated ours, so we're in business.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
I
gonna.
read somewhere you're not supposed to do that for some reason, and I can't remember the reason, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up.
To piss
But there
off
was
my
some-
girlfriend. That's the reason you're bringing it up right there. So I'm sleeping on the couch because Beaner read something. Thanks,
No,
buddy.
maybe it's like the ink fades, and then like something fades in the light or something, and you can't put it back because it's been laminated.
Let me tell you.
I think she actually has them like in one of those like lanyard holder things, so they
Just
can't
take a
come
picture of it. Just take a picture of it on your phone. I mean, like, there's no, because that's gonna be who's gonna really have the balls to ask to see the card. That's my question. Comedy clubs
Besides
are not gonna
cruise
ask
lines.
people. That's the one. That's the only one I can think of. If you still have to work cruises, they're gonna want to see a picture of it. But anybody
Maybe wanna see
else,
the back of it.
yeah. Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing a cruise in October. I'm doing the Chris Jericho cruise, and they've already told us like if you're not vaxxed, you're not performing.
But they're gonna want to see proof. I mean,
Yeah.
they need to see proof. But I think
What's
everybody
Chris
else.
Jericho?
Chris Jericho's a pro wrestler, so he's a big time pro wrestler. He throws this. This is gonna be like the third year doing it. He throws like so it's like wrestling and music and comedy and a bunch of stuff like that. It's kind of a neckbeard cruise, and I mean that in the most flattering way possible because I am a neckbeard as well. So it's for people who are into heavy metal music and or wrestling and or comedy.
Nice. That's cool.
Well, I feel backed up, or as backed up as I'm gonna
good.
get here.
Yeah.
John,
I'll
go
make
ahead,
you a
Ryan.
deal. I'll wear the mask as long as you do. We can check in once a week with each other, post our selfies
Okay,
with the
good.
masks.
and
Just
if
so,
not,
just so
then,
you feel seen. All
What
right.
are those
Anybody-
masks? What is it? A Seahawks mask or what's the big?
no, they're just like I got like 500 of these, and they're like individually wrapped. You're not supposed to
literally-
use them over and over again. They're the good, like the KN95. They're better than like a cloth
am-
mask.
I am literally using the disposable ones they give you for free at Target. The first ones I had because it's got like shit stains and food on the inside. Because
It's
I'm just
disgusting.
it's in the car. It's what's in the car when I get the
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I use a dish towel and then just
Yeah.
saran wrap my head together.
I
And
use
then
a
go out.
COVID patient's Band-Aid is what I do, and I just literally
Have you ever
strap.
seen people where they forgot they're just walking around the store like this?
I have all those people were in Arizona. I feel like in Oregon, no one's ever forgotten a mask anywhere. They all have like 15 masks on them at all times. So
That's hilarious.
okay, Johnny, do you need some backup?
I have one. Have you? So, okay, it's gonna sound very similar to a previous one, but there's all these ads. Maybe they're all.
Wait
maybe
a
it's
minute.
just
We should point this out. Ryan, you've got a hard. You need to go at 7 though, right?
I got a couple minutes here. We got this.
Okay, so Johnny, do your
Oh, okay.
useless one really quick.
What's that? Oh, am I using? So all these ads, the ads, and you can stop me if you're like, I'm not getting these ads. What the hell websites are you going to? But it's all these ads where it's like, it's emasculating these things like, oh, you don't want to use girl soap. That soap you use. Why don't you smell it again? Because this smells like fucking shit. And you're lying to yourself if you think it smells good. You want to smell like a pirate's, like this one smells like bay rum. This one smells like pine cedar. And it's like the commercials, all this dumb guy. And the girl's like, oh, if my man smelled like that, I would suck his dick right now.
I'd suck his ass.
I'd give him a rim job until he came.
Well, like it's condescending and insulting. It's like there's one that's like hair ties for guys. You don't want to wear these girl hair tie. A hair tie is a fucking rubber band.
It's like and it's like they're just like it's like you can just get a black rubber band. Like it's not like
Yeah.
I think it's
these ones are covered in motor oil.
Yeah.
Let me first of all, I back you up. You're right, and I think a lot of that comes from a lot of people are ripping off. Like, remember when Old Spice first like rebranded, and they were like, we're gonna, because it used to be like your grandpa would wear Old Spice, and then they were like, we got to get young people, so they did these insane ads, and it was all.
That's where Terry Crews, the current host of AGT, like that's where he kind of blew up again, was because of
right, and they were funny.
Yeah,
they were funny ads, but then it's like I do think a lot of people are just like now it's all kind of copying the.
They are.
The
I mean, I do a lot
thing.
of like stuff like freelance writing on Upwork, and they're all like, "Yeah, we're looking for. We want our ads to be kind of in your face and edgy, like the." And then they'll be like the Old Spice ones, or the razor, whatever the razor.
Yeah, you get the Manscaped one a lot too. So I had to text him. Do you guys know Zoltan? Yeah. So he was he did a lot of stuff for Manscaped. He was the grooming guru. So like one of those characters. And I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. And like that his commercial was like the preview to almost every YouTube video I was watching. So I had to text him once and I was like, hey, Zoltan, why don't you just leave my balls alone and let me do whatever I want? I'm sure he made bank on that because those things got shown a ton. So I'm happy for him. But I was like, hey, why don't you just let me do whatever I want with my dick? All right. Just
well,
hands off my ass.
It's weird because it's like, yeah, you're right. I think for a long time they just didn't market products to men for like, that's, a lot of soap. It was either we're marketing it specifically to women or it's just generic soap. This is soap that smells like soap. So now they're like trying to, but it's like someone who's never talked to a man before who's trying to figure out what men like, like, men, you like being out in the woods for days and not having the comforts of home. It's like, nah, I don't want to be starving in the woods.
You like eating animals you just killed.
Right.
Like, that's what you want to do.
They just make me mad. They make me be like, fuck that company. Fuck that brand.
Yeah, because I feel like, and I don't know if this is me being a little just too simplistic or stereotypical about it, but like, I imagine the type of men who care about what their soaps smell like don't want the ones that smell like pine cedar and stuff like that,
yeah.
I figure if you really care about grooming and stuff like that, you're not going to get the one that smells like dump truck or whatever. Like that's not what you want,
One of them,
but like
dump truck. This smells like the waiting room at a tire store.
Yeah, like that's what it is. This smells like the 1979 World Series. Yeah. It's like that's very specific.
Like
how did
men.
Man, this one smells like a fucking oily fart.
Oh.
Yeah, you just worked all day and you farted. You want your girl to know how bad.
Have you ever wanted to like clean one with brisket? Well, here you go.
I definitely feel backed up. That's for sure.
No, I'm with you. I think it's desperation. They're trying to find a market for all this bullshit, and they all want to sell it to you. A product sucks when they're like, you can't just buy it. They're like, sign up for our monthly delivery of our product. You're like, oh yeah, because you know this shit sucks, and you want to just hope that I forget my credit cards attached to it, and every month I'm too lazy to find the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up not being able to get a house because I forgot to like
Right, 'cause I have
unsubscribe to the
box
razors. Yeah.
I have 50 razors showing.
I
up
just
every
finally
week.
got out from under that Columbia House bullshit from 2001.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. Well, yeah, Johnny, I'm with you, buddy. I'm backing you up on that. Take it down. Just everybody calm down, okay? We'll buy soap. We'll buy razors. We don't need to all be.
And everybody knows you're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean. So if you want me to leave Zest, you're gonna have to do better than Dump Truck. I'll tell you that much.
Dump truck. Pine tar.
Yeah, bring back soap that smells like soap.
Yeah,
That was good soap, you know.
Or does not smell like anything. Just I want it to clean me. I'm filthy. I don't.
You heard it here first, folks. I'm gonna isolate that soundbite.
That is the word. We're like criticizing these soap companies for their ads. We're like, no, do one like this. I'm filthy. I want something that cleans me.
Yeah, that's all I need. I need some. I mean, my arms are so short I can barely reach all my parts. How about you give me longer soap? I don't care about the smell, just longer. I want soap that comes like the same way you buy like a big old thing of salami. Like I want that to be soap.
A big old
I want long soap to clean my long ass.
My long ass.
Yes.
All right. Well, hey, that's we got to wrap it up. That was it went so fast. Oh my God! Thank you, Ryan, and thank you everybody for listening.
Do you have
Ryan,
anything you want to plug?
Cripplethreat.com for my touring schedule. I'm back on the road again. I don't know when this goes up, but I'm in Boston this week as of this recording, and then I'm in Des Moines the next week, and then Minneapolis, and then Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. So come see me, and don't spit in my mouth. I'm vaccinated, but I'm not ready for the mouth spit yet.
Yeah, that's not like the old days.
Yeah, on the old days, I required it.
Yeah. As part of the meet and greet package.
Exactly. If you want to buy a VIP ticket, get that loogie going.
Off it up, literally.
All right.
We'll cripplethreat.com.
Yeah, cripplethreat.com and cripplethreat8 on all of the social medias.
Okay, Cripple Threat 8.
Yeah, there was seven before me.
Right.
There was 7 before me, but it works like the Pope. Like one dies and then a new one gets named. So,
but at least you got the domain name. You didn't have to. Did you have to buy that out, or were you?
I did not. So the reason I did the Cripple Threat 8 is I originally wanted Cripple Threat for like an Xbox gamer tag, and someone already had it, and 8's just my favorite number, so I added it on.
I see.
I actually became friends with the guy who is Cripple Threat on Instagram because when my AGT audition first aired, he was getting hit up by a lot of people who didn't pay attention and see that there was an 8. So he was getting all this shit. Like he messaged me. He's like, hey, bro, I think AGT fucking sucks, but I think you did well. So I'm sending people your way. And we kind of became buddies. I was like, I don't care if you watch it, but you're cool as shit, man. Thanks for not being a dick.
What was his reasoning for coming up with the name Cripple Threat?
Oh, he's just crippled. That's it. He's in part of this team over here. He's just crippled.
Okay.
I don't know what his thing is. It's probably disgusting.
What a way to describe a person. He's just Kevin? Yeah, he's just crippled.
My favorite part about this is I hope if people are just only listening to the audio of this and don't know who I am, this all feels very inappropriate. This is just
right. No,
it's why I in the past I've never recorded an album, because if you can't see me, I just sound like an asshole. Like that's all it is.
Gosh, that's funny. I know. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I have to over describe everything. I have to fucking like it's charades.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, well, thank you.
Cripplethreat.com.
Cripplethreat8 on social media. Make sure you follow. Make sure you go see them live. And thanks everybody for listening. Leave those reviews. Oh, yeah. And we'll see you next time on The Cavalry.
Oh, is that